Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wally Rauder. I'm your host for BizTalk 102. Linolin or Blino, you need to show yourself on camera. Nang Hita, you need to show yourself on camera. If I cannot see your face on camera for the full duration of today's session, you will not get a certificate. You are not allowed to walk away from the camera. You must sit in front of the camera and learn. Otherwise, you are not entitled to a certificate. Your camera must be switched on, and I need to see your face in front of the camera. If you disappear for more than 5 seconds, you will be marked absent and no certificate will be issued. If you're at work, you need to send me a message and I need to agree to it. Otherwise, no certificate will be issued. Bethzel, Pleiada, Linolin, or Belino, and Ravelli, Quistoti. Your cameras must be switched on. Right now, you won't be getting a certificate. Jenny Revilla, you need to sit in front of the camera and look at the camera. Otherwise, no certificate will be issued. You need to look at the camera and pay attention to the class. Otherwise, no certificate will be issued. Very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to BizTalk 102. Once again, I'm coming to you live from Singapore. Pavitra KS, I need to see your face on camera. If you don't show me your face, no certificate. If you switch off your camera or you don't show me your face for more than 5 seconds, no certificate. Donna Asheta, you need to show me your face on camera. Pavitra, I need to see your face on camera. That is a final warning. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that, but some people sometimes forget that common courtesy of attending these sessions is to switch on your camera. If you're not looking at the camera, I can't give you a certificate because you have not attended the session or learned anything. So please remember that. And you need to look at the camera, Melba, or otherwise no certificate. Melba Jamandri. Thank you. Let's talk about today's BizTalk. Today we're talking about mastering the art of negotiation skills. Negotiation skills are you trying to reach a deal or reach agreement with someone, whether it's over a business deal or whether you're proposing to marry someone and setting down the conditions. No matter what we do in life, at some point in our life, we will negotiate something, whether it's to marry our boyfriend, to have kids, to buy a house, or to run a business. Let's look at what are negotiation skills and what do we do to make sure that we're successful at negotiating, whether it's in our personal life or for business. Let me share my screen. Okay, so one moment, please. Can everybody see my screen? Great, excellent. So let's talk about it. Negotiation skills, ladies and gentlemen, are a process of coming to an agreement with another party about something that you're trying to do or about buying something from another party. Negotiation is the art of reaching an agreement or consensus. Honey May Angeline de Guzman, unless you look at the camera and focus on my lesson, Honey May Angeli, there will be no certificate issued to you. All right, so mastering the art of negotiation. What is negotiation? Well, folks, negotiation is the process by which people settle differences. Whether you're trying to settle the difference between you and your boyfriend about your wedding date, or you're trying to settle the difference about whether you want to marry him or wait another 2 years. It is a negotiation. You're trying to settle a difference in something that you can't agree on, or trying to agree on something in order to make it happen. For negotiation to be effective, the negotiation must be fair and it must actually point towards benefit for both parties. If you're trying to negotiate where you're winning and the other party is losing, the chances are your negotiation will fail. Negotiating is an art where both parties feel that they achieved something towards their goal in order for this to happen. So, what are the stages in negotiation? Of course, preparation, discussion with the other party, clarification of the goals, negotiate towards a winning outcome for both parties, and an agreement, and therefore implementation of what you agreed on. So preparation involves you understanding everything there is to understand about the other party. It involves you doing your homework, because if you go into a negotiation without doing your homework or not knowing who the other party is, then you will fail, because you are unable to put yourself in the other party's shoes. For you to be able to negotiate effectively, you must be able to put yourself in the other party's shoes during your preparation. You must ask yourself, what do they want? Why do they want it? And what is their minimum acceptable option for us to do business, for us to get married? So, why is negotiation such a challenge, guys? Well, two, people are oblivious to how they come across during a negotiation. More than 57% fail a negotiation because they are not prepared and have not understood what the other party wants or needs. And they fail to put over a case of assertiveness where they give the other party what he wants, or be able to deliver it to the other party with a level of confidence or understanding so he can trust them or want to do business with them. It's all about being unprepared. It's all about you knowing what the other party wants and remembering what they've said and reflecting on what they've said in order to reach an agreement. Negotiators only remember about 50% of what their counterpart has said. 50% is not enough, because you will not close the deal. You should have done your homework during preparation so you know everything there is to know about the party you're going to negotiate with. These are essential components of the art of negotiation. So what are the stages of the effective negotiation process? Remember, we said here, preparation, discussion, clarification of goals, negotiating towards a win-win outcome, agreement, and implementation of a course of action. So, number one, experts ask one question for every 4 statements. So, for you to become an expert negotiator, you must ask enough questions so that the other party gives you enough answers so that you can reach a settlement. Now, if you let the other party talk without you asking the correct questions, then at no point are you going to reach consensus, because the other party might not give you the information you're looking for. What is the risk of asking questions? Well, information quality. Can you trust the information that has been provided by the other party? Or your opponent has the opportunity to direct the information flow. You can't let them direct. If you're trying to sell something or you're trying to achieve a goal, you have to direct the negotiation by asking the right questions and guiding the answers. You should ask questions which are interest-gathering questions, and these are open questions where you're asking them to tell you the story about what you're asking. And then you need to ask close-ended questions, yes or no, black or white, to confirm what they told you in the interest gathering questions. And you need to confirm, you need to have what we call active listening. So you confirm what they told you. And the way to confirm is to use the reflective. So what you told me, Mr. Smith, if I understand you correctly, is your budget is $1.5 trillion only. You cannot spend $1.55 trillion. So you summarize and you reflect on what they told you. Unless you're able to do that, then at the end of the discussion, you will not achieve the settlement that you wanted or the outcome that you wanted. A negotiation can be won or lost in the first 5 minutes, because in the first 5 minutes, the other party draws a conclusion as to how confident you are with the words that you state, your body language, and the opening statement that you put to the other party about the purpose of today's negotiation. So if you lack confidence and you haven't done your preparation and you cannot put yourself in the shoes of the other party, the chances are you will fail and you would have lost the negotiation in the first 5 minutes. All right, so does everybody understand what I mean when I say you need to do your homework? You need to understand what the people you're negotiating with are about. Danilo, Joalo, you're not looking at your camera and you'll receive no certificate. Nin, you, Heng, you need to look at your camera all the time or no certificate. Evangeline Reyes, I cannot see you on camera. Unless you look at the camera immediately, there will be no certificate. So remember, guys, you need to do your homework on your counterpart. You need to make sure you research the other party. You need to make sure you understand who they are, where they're from, what they want, and why they want it. So the key concepts to any negotiation, guys, is preparation, preparation, and preparation. What do you know? What don't you know? And make sure you do not have any bias or do not make up your mind before you talk to the other party. Does everybody understand that? Could you wave your hands? Asa, do you understand it? Asa Norberte? Wave your hand. Good, excellent. All right, so what is preparation? What is preparation? It's like for when you prepare to go out with your boyfriend, Elgin, or Heyman O, or Wilburn, when you decide to go out with your girlfriend. You prepare, you get dressed, you book a table, you decide where you want to take her. So preparing for a negotiation is the same, but it needs to be a lot more thorough, because the person you're negotiating might not be your lover, girlfriend, or boyfriend. They might be a business acquaintance where you're trying to close business. So preparation. This stage involves ensuring all the pertinent facts of the situation are known, and you can only do that by understanding the other party or being centric to all the information about the other party. The next part, once you've done the preparation, is your initial discussion with the other party, when you start the discussion. Now, when you go into a negotiation, during the discussion stage, individuals or members of each side put forward their case as they see it, thus their understanding of the situation. So if you understand what the other party needs or wants, you should be able to direct the right information at the beginning of the session. Because remember, the first 5 minutes will dictate whether the other party is serious or wants to listen to you or wants to do business with you. Because if you can't share the right information in the first 5 minutes, they will slowly lose interest. Now, what is the communication cycle? The communication cycle means going into every negotiation with a clean mindset. Don't go in there thinking you already know the answer. You need to interact by asking questions, assessing the information that comes in, making sure you write down clearly what they answer, what the information is, and what objective you want to try to achieve. You need to discuss it and get feedback from the other party so you reach consensus. The first step of communication, as I told you, is to ask questions. I repeat, ask questions. Questions help you to understand what the other party wants. They help show you what to expect as you move forward through the negotiation by what the other party says. And they tell you whether they will settle for anything less than what they're asking or what you plan, And it will also draw out why the other party wants to make a deal. So you need to ask the right questions to find out at what point is their minimum or maximum price. Are you prepared to go above that or below that so you can win the deal, or are you prepared to lose and walk away? You need to ask questions. You need to make sure that at the beginning of the negotiation, you explain or summarize to the other party why you're negotiating. What is the goal? Here, today, we're here to negotiate about you buying our equipment for $1.5 million. You need to set the objective of the negotiation down at the very beginning, so all the parties to the negotiation know that you're all talking about the same subject. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Can you wave your hands, please? Very good. All right, so if we talk about clarifying goals means setting objectives, making a point clear about what you want and why. Goals. And you have to stick to those goals, and you have to do your best to negotiate so that you achieve those goals. Now, when you go into a negotiation, you have to address three categories of the common problem that negotiators face. Number one, they have their own perception. Number two, they're unable to control their emotions. And number three, they don't understand what the other party wants, needs, or expects because they are not prepared. Partisan perception and cognitive biases get in the way. So when you go into a negotiation, you shouldn't say, oh, this person is from Iceland, I can't trust him, I'm not going to agree to anything. That means you're going in there with a preconceived conception. You should never go into a negotiation with any preconceived conception. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Wave your hands. Very good. When you go into a negotiation, you must control your emotions. You must be able to leave your emotions or how you feel about that person from Iceland in your bedroom. When you go into a negotiation, you should only be focused on winning or succeeding. You should not have any preconceived ideas about the other party. And four, frustration can be caused by miscommunication. Misunderstanding is because you have not asked enough questions and you did not understand enough about what the other party wants. You should never get yourself into a misunderstanding, because if you do, as a negotiator, it means you have failed to prepare, you have failed to ask the right questions. So have the confidence to make the first offer if you are the one who is trying to win over the business. Buying a house. When buying a house, pitch the first offer below the asking price. Has anybody here bought a house recently? Can you put your hand up? Who bought a house recently? Anyone? Did anybody buy a house? Okay. Has anybody bought a house recently? Put your hand up. Okay. When you go to buy a house, you look at the house and you say to the agent or the property agent, I'm interested in this house. I'm prepared to offer $300,000. You don't wait till the end. You make the offer straight away. That shows that you have confidence and you're ready to negotiate. You don't wait for them to tell you the price. It's a lot easier if you bring it out at the beginning of the negotiation process. Today, I'm looking to purchase the house. I like the design, but the budget is strictly $300,000. You need to listen carefully to what your counterparts to the other party answer. When they answer you, you should ask them close-ended questions to confirm the information and then use the reflective to reflect on what they've told you. Listen closely. Ask questions. Make a note of any information so you don't forget it and have to ask it again. Don't be afraid to share information with your counterpart throughout your discussion. Explain why you want to sell the item or why you want to buy the item. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? So if Asia was negotiating with someone to become her husband and they were negotiating the terms of the wedding, Asia would have to explain to him what she wants. She would have to listen to what he wants and then reach a compromise. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay. So what are negotiation dynamics? In order to be an effective negotiator, you should always go into a negotiation with the aim of winning and having the other party win. So both parties should walk away feeling that they've won something. Do you understand that, everyone? So when you talk about win-win, it means you being able to cooperate, ask questions, and reach a consensus. We call this integrative cooperation, where you ask questions, you reach mutual consensus. The other dynamic is a win-lose, where you are the supplier and you maintain $1 million as the price of the aircraft. Okay, so win-lose. The buyer says, I can only pay $999,950. I cannot go to 1 million. Now, if you accept that, that means the client got the plane at the price he or she wants. You lost $50. So a win-lose situation is not good for business. Every negotiation should more effectively be a win-win situation. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? All right. The other one is lose-lose. This is where you offer for a certain price. The buyer says no. He does not buy. You walk away without making a sale. So both parties lose. Lose-lose. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Do you understand what I mean by that, Asa? Very good. Now let's look at this. Negotiations happen in different ways. There's what we call the win-lose, win-win, lose-lose, or lose-win. Win-lose means you win, the other party loses. Win-win is when both of you win. Lose-lose is when you lose to get the business and the customer loses in not getting what you're supplying. And there's lose-win, where you lose, but the buyer wins because you agreed to their terms. Does everybody understand what I mean by that? Yes or no? Okay, so the most common ones that happen today are either the owl or the turtle. Most negotiations today end up in a win-win or lose-lose. Not so many end up in a win-lose. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? And if you use negotiation the way I'm telling you, you should go from lose-lose to win-win, not lose-lose to win-lose. In actual fact, to be a successful negotiator, you should be able to achieve win-win. Let's look at it. Let's look at what this means. Win-win. Hardening, debates, and polemics, action, not words. This is where both parties are focused on winning. Level 2, images, loss of face, strategies of threads. That means that at one point, one party doesn't agree with something, or one party wasn't able to get exactly what they want. That means they lost face, but they had no other option because there's no other supplier. They had to buy from you. And they won't buy from you again because you win, they lose. They're paying too much for your product. The third level is limited destructive blows, where you tell them that you cannot give them a discount. They say they cannot pay that much. Both of you are at a point of fragmentation, and neither of you can see any light to agree with the other party. So what happens? You both decide to walk away. You lose selling and getting revenue. The other party loses by not being able to get the product they need for their customer. So does everybody understand what I mean by win-win, win-lose, lose-lose? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, so let me go back and let me ask you. Let's ask a simple question. How many of you here are currently proposing to your girlfriend? Anybody? Anybody proposing to their girlfriend? No? Yes or no? No one? Wow. Is there any girl here that is proposing or being proposed to by her boyfriend? Put your hand up. Don't be shy. Anyone? Oh my God. You're all taken or you're all single. Which one? Oh, we've got one. Hi, May Rose. How are you? Talk to me, May Rose. Hi.
Hello.
Are you proposing or are you currently waiting for a proposal?
He proposed.
All right. Can I ask you, hypothetically, when he proposed, did you say yes or did you ask a lot of questions?
No, I didn't ask any question. I just said yes because he said a lot of words before asking.
Fantastic. That means he was well prepared. He did his homework. And that means you deserve him because he loves you and you love him, right? Yes. Congratulations, Mary Rose. When's the wedding?
Not yet planned. Actually, we're just preparing the documents because he's from Norway.
Hey, Rose, let me wish you the best of luck. And let me tell you, 30 years ago, when I proposed to my wife, she never expected it. I took her out for dinner. I got down on my knee and I proposed. She took the ring, put it on the table, drank 3 bottles of champagne, kept me waiting for 4 hours. And then she said, of course, I'll marry you. Did it take you that long to say yes, or did you say yes straight away?
Actually, because he invite a lot of friends from because we have a yacht. We went to yacht. We just have some turn
Yeah.
around from here, and then
Yeah.
it's a party, but I don't know what kind of party. So I just go, and then afterwards the other, because he's a foreign, and then the
Yeah.
MC
Yeah.
called him, and then he was singing a song. He's singing "Stuck on You."
Right. Right. Okay. And did you answer yes straight away, or did it take you a while?
Actually, I was crying.
God bless you. My sincerest congratulations. Please make
Thank
sure
you.
you let me know when the wedding day is. I wish you a very happy time, and congratulations. He's the right guy because he knew, he did his preparation. He knew what you wanted. He knew what words to use. He surprised you. You went
Yeah.
along with it. So he won your heart. Am I right or wrong?
Yes. You're right.
Congratulations. God bless you. Okay, so now Mary Rose is going to have a more serious negotiation because let me tell you what's going to happen next. Her parents and his parents have to decide who's coming to the wedding. Her mother and father will say, hold on. She's our daughter. The wedding must be at the Shangri-La Hotel. And his parents will say, oh, no, no, no. We don't like the Shangri-La. It has to be at the Ritz-Carlton. And then Mary Rose and her boyfriend will be sitting back and saying, hello, we're happy to marry in either place. And the parents will then start negotiating, right? Yes or no? Yeah, okay. All right. So then Mary Rose has to put on her negotiation skills. And she has to say to her mother, Mum, who's marrying, you or me? Whose wedding is it, you or me? And her mother will say, listen here, young lady, if I don't give you my blessing, no marriage, go to your room. And Mary Rose will go to her room. She'll wake up the next morning and hope that her mother agrees with her. So Mary Rose is going to go through a negotiation process. Number one, over the wedding. Number two, about where they live. Then will come the big one. When do they have their first child? How many children do they have? And then after they get married, she'll be negotiating. Do I do the vacuuming or do you do the vacuuming? Do I cook chicken adobo or do you cook chicken adobo? Do I throw out the rubbish or do you throw out the rubbish? Do you pick me up from work every day or do I buy the car, you catch the bus? So Mary Rose is at the very beginning of a long line of negotiation, Mary Rose. I wish you luck, and I hope you started thinking now about all the negotiating that you have to do. Enjoy it, young lady. God bless you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Everybody give Mary Rose a big hand. Congratulate her, everybody. Come on. Good on you, Mary Rose. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, negotiation is something you use every day in your life. It's something that you go through. And can I ask you, if you're negotiating for your wedding, do you want it to be a win-win or win-lose? Because if you negotiate win-lose and you feel like you're the girl you've won and your husband-to-be feels like he's lost, is the marriage going to get off to a good start? No. So negotiation has to be a win-win negotiation. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Put your hands up, everyone. Very good, excellent. All right, let me share my screen again. Okay, here we go. So negotiation is something about you wanting to achieve a win-win situation all the time. And, you know, let's put it this way. Even though some people tell you it's okay to get win-lose, it's not, because win-win is the one that will be a long-term relationship. All right, so what are the barriers, ladies and gentlemen? What are the barriers to resolution? There's always strategic barriers. Now, the reason you may not come to a win-win situation could be because they don't agree with your philosophy. Your mother says you must marry in her church. You cannot marry in another church because your mother loves that church. There could be interests and incentives. It could be that you're trying to sell the product at a higher price, but the buyer doesn't want to pay that much because when he goes to sell it, he will not be able to generate enough profit. There's no incentive. Conjugative barriers means that one of you is at risk by doing the deal because they would lose money, or there is what they call loss aversion. And loss aversion means that they are trying to get away from a loss, and therefore they don't want to agree with you. They're not prepared to go through the barrier and come to an agreement. Okay, now, in negotiation, we're going to learn today about ZOPA. ZOPA is what we call the bargaining zone, and this will teach you how far you can go. We're going to talk about your reservation value. We're going to talk about the best alternative to a negotiated agreement, which is the BATNA, best alternative. We're going to talk about prioritized interests, and we're going to talk about never give anything away for free. Should you give anything away for free in a negotiation? No, because if you do, you will lose money. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Can you imagine if you were the Filipino government and you said to all Filipinos, I'm going to give every Filipino adult $1,000 US. And at the end of the day, when you count how many million Filipino population you have, the treasury will have nothing in the bank. Do you think the Filipino government is going to give anything away for nothing? No. The only time they're going to give you $1,000 if they believe that they have enough money and that the people of the Philippines deserve $1,000 because in the past, the government has not done enough to support them. But they don't give it away for nothing. And usually if they give you money, they do it just before an election so they win the election. Right or wrong? They don't give it to you every week. They don't give it to you every month. Okay. So remember, 5 rules of thumb. You must remember this. Number 1, there are no giveaways in negotiation. Number 2, you need to say to the other person, the person you're negotiating with, help me to help you, whether it's your boyfriend, a business partner, or someone else. You need to understand yourself. You need to understand what it is that you want from the negotiation. You need to make justifiable demands and concessions. So when you go to negotiate, you need to know what your lowest price is and what your highest price is. And you need to make sure that anything you're asking, you can justify. The reason why you need to pay $1,000 for every chair is because these chairs are covered with genuine leather. The leather is worth about $30 a meter. But if you go in there and say, I'm charging $10,000 for the chair, and the customer says, but the leather's only worth $200 a meter, why would they pay $10,000? That means your demands are not justifiable. Understand that? Yes or no? And last one is to be curious. What do we mean to be curious? Always ask yourself questions. Always. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, good. So, as you prepare for your negotiation, you need to place a value and prioritize your negotiable items. They will generally fall into 3 categories. Number 1, what is the highest priority that you want? Is it the price or the business? Medium priority, are you flexible about your price? And lowest priority, are you prepared to walk away with a loss, or are you prepared to make sure you get the business? Now let's put those in priority. Okay, let's go back to Mary Rose marrying her boyfriend. Her highest priority is that she marries him. The medium priority will be is that him and her are happy for the rest of their life. The lowest priority will be is what her mother and father want, because it's not up to her mother and father. They are the ones getting married. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Yes or no? Very good. The temptation is to give away the lowest priority items and get nothing in return for them. Remember, just because an item doesn't have much value, or the fact that you're moving out of home and you're going to have your own house, sometimes you still have to listen to Mary Rose's parents, because after all, you're their daughter. So never underestimate the lowest priority. Still give it some thought. Okay. Remember, would Mary Rose be happy if she had a wedding and her mother and father didn't come? No, she wouldn't. So even though they're not the highest priority, she still needs to afford them consideration. In a negotiation, you have to understand, help me to help you. Everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay. So if you buy a house, Francisco, and you say to the agent, listen, you're asking 50 million peso. My budget is 48,500,000 peso. If you don't agree, I'm not going to buy the house. You have to help me so that you sell the house and you make your commission. Help me so I can help you. Right? Now, Francisco can pull another card out and say to the agent, hey, yeah, I can pay 50 million, but I cannot pay you any commission. So you either get me the house at 48,500,000 and I pay you your commission, or you get me the house at 50 million, take your commission from the seller, not from the buyer. So when you say, help me, help you, it's something that you should put in the back of your mind. And it's something that you should always try to explain to the person you're negotiating with. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? How do you accomplish this? You have to explain to your mother and father, Mary Rose, why it is that you don't think it's important to get married at the hotel they want and you can get married anywhere. You have to sell them what's up here and convince them that they need to help you for you to have a happy wedding day. You have to actively engage with the other party, with your parents or his parents. You have to ask a lot of information and questions from your mother and father and from his parents to understand what they both are looking for, so you can try to reach a compromise with both of them. You have to put yourself in your parents' shoes, and he has to put himself in his parents' shoes. And you both have to help me to help you ideology. Be flexible. Okay, so always in negotiation, we should always negotiate towards a win-win situation. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Does everybody understand what I mean by that? Yes or no? Win-win situation. Can I ask you, if you go into a shop to buy something and you say to the salesperson, I want to buy this car, and the salesperson says to you, the price of the car is 70 million peso or baht, and you say, I'm only prepared to pay 59 million. If you get it at 59 million, you win, he loses. All right? But if he says, okay, listen, I'll give it to you at 79 million, but on top of that, I'll give you 2 million peso vouchers to buy free petrol. Then you both win because you save 2 million peso on petrol. Do you understand what I mean by a win-win compromise? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, good. Does everybody understand what I mean by win-win? Does everybody understand? Put your hands up. Okay, good. All right, let's go on. One moment, please. All right, so when you go into a win-win outcome, it's usually the best result. Although this may not always be possible, it should be the ultimate goal. By suggesting alternatives or trying to reach a compromise where both people feel they've won is usually the most successful negotiation. Agreement. Agreement can be achieved once understanding of both sides' viewpoints and interests have been considered. Remember, understanding of both sides' viewpoints and interests have been considered. This is absolutely critical. All right? It is essential for everybody involved to keep an open mind. You should never go into a negotiation with a preconceived idea. You can't go into a negotiation, Asa, by saying, he is a jerk, I'm not going to marry him. All right? So if you say that, Asa, there's no point going out with him because eventually one day he's going to propose to you. Do you understand what I mean by that example, Asa? Yes or no? All right. So you always have to have an open mind. If you have a preconceived determination, then don't go into that relationship or try to negotiate your way through it. Okay, so if you fail to agree, okay, if you fail to agree and the party says that, I'm sorry, I cannot buy at your price, you need to keep an open mind in order and try to actually set an agenda where you would both walk away and come up with other ideas and try to negotiate again. You try to arrange a subsequent meeting, but don't at any point just actually say, oh, no deal. If you say no deal, then at the end of the day, what you'll do is you will lose. And you don't want to do that, guys. You don't want to be on the losing side of it. You don't want to be on the losing side. All right, so try to arrange a subsequent meeting. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay. Implementing a course of action. Once you've come to the agreement, what you have to do then is implement what you've agreed on. Because if you don't implement what you've agreed on, okay, then at the end of the day, you will lose. So implementation is very important. You must carry out what you've agreed on. And you need to carry it out in line with what you've promised the other party. So if you said, yes, I'll marry you and we'll get married by the end of next year, you can't then change your mind and say, let's delay it 1 year. Because otherwise the other party loses trust and therefore it's no longer the agreement that you had, and that could affect the future relationship of that discussion or that negotiation. All right, win-lose approach to negotiation. Remember, the first one is win-win, where both of you walk away winning or actually achieving the result that you want. The other option is that you win, they lose. You ask for a high price, they pay it. So you get what you want, but the other party's paying more than they had budgeted. Win-lose. It could be the other way around, where the other party is asking for a lower price and you as the seller agree to a lower price so that you lose, so that your customer wins, because you want to get their business. You need the cash. All right? So it's always better to work towards a win-win than a win-lose or a lose-win. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Very good. Win-lose bargaining is probably the most familiar form of negotiating that is undertaken. Most negotiations in the world today actually start off as win-lose negotiations. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Win-lose bargaining is basically when individuals decide what they want, then each side takes up an extreme position, such as asking the other side for much more than they expect to get. Through haggling, through negotiating, giving and making concessions, a compromise is usually reached. And each side hopes is that this compromise will be in their favor. Now remember, if the compromise is in your favor, Francisco, it means the other party lost. And if the compromise is in their favor, then you lost. So the idea is to come up with a compromise where both parties feel they've won something. And that will mean the negotiation will be a lot more effective and the relationship will last a lot longer. A typical example of haggling. Okay, we go in to buy a car. What do you want for this car? I could let it go for under 2,000 pounds, says Francisco. Okay? And the customer says, I'll give you 1,000 pounds. Okay? And then the salesman says, you must be joking. Francisco says, well, I'll give you 1,100, and that's my limit. So the salesman says, 1,900. Francisco says, no. 1,300. Francisco says, sorry, well, 1,000, that's my limit. The salesman says, no. The salesman says, 1,900. Francisco says, no. 1,300. Salesman says, no. 1,700. Francisco says, 1,500. What does the salesman say? Done. All right. So through the haggling, who won? Francisco won. But did the salesman win? No. Francisco won. Now, hold on. Francisco will go back to that car yard and ask for that salesman again because Francisco is happy the salesman gave him a discount. So obviously the salesman did it for two reasons. One, because he needed to sell the car, or two, is because he was trying to win Francisco back as a regular customer. All right, so there must be a reason behind every win-lose situation. You understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Win-lose negotiations may serve to turn the negotiation into a conflict situation and can serve to damage any possible relationship. It is essentially dishonest. Both sides must try to hide their real views and mislead each other. So the best way to do it is to reach a compromise solution. And remember, that compromise may not be the best for both outcomes, but you have to try to reach a compromise. And the agreement is less likely to be reached as each side has made a public commitment to a particular position. So you need to make sure that when you go into a negotiation, you don't go in there with any preconceived ideas. You must go in there with an open mind, ready to reach compromise. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Put your hands up. Very good. Now, in negotiation, there's something that we call the best alternative to the negotiated price or negotiated agreement. And this is commonly known in negotiation as the BATNA. Now, the BATNA refers to the most advantageous alternative course of action a party can take if negotiations fail. For example, before you negotiate, you should list your alternatives. Create a list of all the possible alternatives that you can mention to your client if he says no to your price. Can you give him more stock? Can you give him a discount? Can you improve the quality? Can you give him extra stock? What are all the alternatives? Make sure you know what the alternatives mean to you and make sure you can explain them in dollar terms to the other party. Make sure you actually remember which one is your preferred alternative. Which one is the best one for you? Also, make sure you have a red circle around the lowest price that you're willing to accept for your stock. Make sure you know what your BATNA is before you go into the negotiation. In other words, BATNA is your backup plan so you don't walk away without a deal. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Remember, a BATNA is specific and tangible. It is a realistic and achievable option. It's not a threat or a bluff, but a genuine alternative. And it's not revealed to the other party, but kept private. And you use it in the process of negotiation. Do you understand that, guys? You implement it because you know what it is. And the other party will also have a BATNA. Having a strong BATNA will help you know when to walk away. It will make you feel more confident when you go into a negotiation, and it will put you into a position of strength. It will make you feel stronger to negotiate. Avoid making concessions that go beyond your BATNA. Stay within your BATNA. The BATNA is your guide or safety net. Always remember that. The BATNA is your guide or safety net. It gives you peace of mind and gives you more confidence in your negotiation. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Very good. All right, let's look at this. BATNA examples. This is the engineer's BATNA. And, oops, sorry. Let's go back. The engineer's BATNA. And this is the company that he's applying to for a job. Okay. Engineer's other alternatives. He wants 1,100K, 100,000 salary. Okay. So engineer's BATNA equals 100K salary at available desirable job. He's looking for a new job. So 100,000K is what he wants. 80,000 salary is the minimum he'll accept. Otherwise, he'll stay on and look for another job on the market. Everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, the company is prepared to pay $120,000 at minimum. The maximum they're prepared to pay is $140,000. If this guy will not come in at $140,000, they will keep looking for someone else. You understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, so now this here, which is what we call the ZOPA. Okay? ZOPA is a zone of possible agreement. So what is the zone of possible agreement here? This guy will take anything between 100 and 80 to 100,000. Here, they're prepared to go 120 to 140. So the zone of possible agreement is going to be somewhere between 100 and 140. Is that right? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay? All right. So let me ask you, Francisco, if you went into this negotiation, what would you do? How would you handle it? What would you ask for first?
Come again, sir?
If you were going to negotiate this and you're applying for the job and the company advertises salary of 125,000, when you go in and they ask you what salary you want, what would you ask for?
I would ask them that
Remember,
The best,
they advertise 120,000, but when you go to the interview, they'll ask you, what salary are you looking for? You would not say 80,000, would you? And you know they're offering 120. So what would you say? Would you say 100, or would you say 115, or what would you say?
I would say, I'm just saying, thank you. Thanks for the salary that they gave it to me.
So if they offered you 120, you just walk away, right? You take the job, right? But what if they
Yes, sir.
ask you, but hold on, Francisco, what if they ask you, how much salary would you like? How would you answer them? Okay, let me explain this. Francisco gets an advertisement saying a salary of 120. In Francisco's mind, he said that he wants between 180,000 and 100,000. So when the HR manager says, Francisco, what's the minimum you'd accept? Francisco wouldn't say 80. He wouldn't say 100, right? He'd say 115,000, because they might not give him 115,000. Then he would slowly drop down to his minimum, which would be 80K. Do you understand that, Francisco? So the zone of possible agreement is somewhere between 80 and 120, right? Because that's their desirable salary. Do you understand that, Francisco?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excellent. All right. So let's look at this one. The minimum seller's price. Okay. The seller's reservation value. The buyer's reservation value. So let's do this together. Okay. Okay, please, can you mute your microphone if I'm talking, please? Thank you. Mary Rose goes to buy a wedding dress, and her boyfriend have decided that the budget for this wedding dress is going to be $4,000 US dollars. Oh, sorry. This is the price of the wedding dress in the shop, okay? Mary Rose saw the dress for $4,000. However, Mary Rose and her boyfriend have already said they want to spend no more than $3K, right? All right, so remember, the seller's reservation value, he's got in his mind that he wants $4K for the dress, okay? $4K. Mary Rose and her husband go into the shop and they put in their mind that they want to spend $3,000. Do you think they're going to get the dress? No, because this guy has said that the retail price of the dress is $4,000. So now the seller's best alternative here could be that the cost of the dress is 3.1. So this is his best alternative. But Mary Rose doesn't know that. Now, Mary Rose's husband has said, hey, if we can't find the dress for 3K, the very most we can do, okay, would be 3.5. All right? So what is the zone of possible agreement? It's between what? The best offer that this guy's going to accept is 3.1. And the best alternative this person is prepared to pay is 3.5. So somewhere in the middle, they would agree, right? Do you understand that, everybody? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, good. Don't be afraid to walk away. So Mary Rose, if you offered them 3.5 and this guy here said no, because his minimum is 3.6. And Mary Rose knows that if she pays 3.6 for the dress, she won't have enough money for the other parts of the wedding. Then she should not be afraid to walk away. Once you've reached your best alternative, your BATNA, then you have no choice but to walk away. Okay. When selling, if your bottom line price is not being accepted by the client and this a deal breaker, then walk away. Should Mary Rose consider not being able to have a wedding and pay for all the food because she spent an extra $100 on the wedding dress? No, because then she can't have a wedding. There'll be nowhere to wear the wedding dress. A win-win outcome is the best outcome. Focus on maintaining relationship. Focus on getting what you want, not making yourself look more powerful. Position. Generate a variety of options and try to show the other person the reason why you're demanding the high price. Aim for results to be based on an objective standard. All right, so when you go into a negotiation, guys, number one, prepare, prepare, prepare. Number two, pay attention to detail. Number three, leave your ego behind. All right, who can tell me, what does ego mean? What do we mean by ego? Can somebody give me an example? What is ego? What is ego? What is an ego? Go ahead. Okay, Jerry, what is ego? Tell me, talk to me, Jerry. Hi, Jerry. Unmute your microphone. Unmute your microphone, Jerry. What does ego mean?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Go ahead. What does ego mean?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Ego means you're proud for yourself.
You're too proud. Right. So you should not take your ego into a negotiation. Very good. You're too proud. You're afraid that people think you lost or will laugh at you.
Yes.
Should always leave your ego at home. Very good. Thank you very much. Okay, who else? Hold on. Yes, Daniel. Yes, Daniel. Wutiwa, want to open your microphone? Go ahead.
The other explanation of ego is self-centeredness.
Yeah.
When one is self-centered.
That's right. And when you go into a negotiation, the last thing you need to do is be self-centered, because that could cause you to lose a negotiation. Thank you for that, Daniel. Very good. Excellent. Okay. So everyone understand what I mean by leave your ego behind. All right. Remember, ego can be the most damaging element of a negotiation. The other damaging element could be you allowing your emotions to get involved in the negotiation. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Yes or no? Very good. You need to ramp up your listening skills. You need to raise your listening skills to the next level. And to raise your listening skills during a negotiation means to actively listen. Who can tell me, what does active listening mean? Does anybody remember? What is active listening? Can anyone tell me? Put up your hand. What is active listening? Active listening. Anyone? Come on, we've learned this before, 5 or 6 times. Yes, Mary, what is active listening?
Hello.
What does active listening mean, Mary?
Active listening is the hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Active listening is you understand very well what is he is telling you. He's talking
Right.
about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Active listening is more than that, Mary. Active listening is where. Okay, somebody just bear with me. There's an echo. Hold on. Active listening, ladies and gentlemen, is where you need to let information come in, you analyze the information, you ask more questions, you understand the answers, and you reach a compromise. That is active listening, Mary. Do you understand that, Mary? Very good. Okay, let's talk to Melba. Melba, do you want to tell me what is active listening to you? Go ahead, Melba.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Listening is the way to listening the responsibility to another person that improve mutual understanding. It is important to state that diffuse the situation and seek the solution to the problem.
Very good. Thank you, Melba. Excellent. Very good. You're on the right track. Okay, let's go on. Who else would like to share with me? Lucien, go ahead, Lucien. what is your alternative to active listening? What do you think active listening means?
Active listening is like when the speaker and the listener were like engaged in conversation, and the listener he or she listens attentively to the speaker, and then he can respond and reflect on like what the speaker has wants to say.
Very good. You're on the right track. Thank you very much. Excellent. Okay, let's go to the next person. Yeah, what have I got here? Yo, Anne Bade. Hi, Anne. How are you? What do you think active listening is? Go ahead.
Active listening is better later when you become better listener. Practice their 6 active listening skills and conversation and to coaching opportunities.
Very good. You're on the right track. Thank you for that. Okay, we've got one more person here who's put up their hand. Go ahead. Hien Min So. What do you think active listening is, Hien?
I think 4 types of active listening. Pay attention to the speaker, and then show that you're listening to the speaker and provide feedback to the speaker, and for judgment to the speaker, and respond appropriately.
Very
You
good. You're on the right track. Thank you very
Yes.
much. Okay, so you're on the right track. So active listening is listening, analyzing, asking questions to understand better, and reaching consensus. Very good. Okay, yes, Mylene Bass. Hi, Mylene. Would you like to add? Are you there, Mylene? Go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, active listening is being present and alert during an interaction with the ability to repeat back your understanding of what has been said by another oftentimes.
Very good.
When
You're on the
we
right
have
track.
conversation, we're focusing on what we want to say next rather than what is being expressed by another person.
Very good. Excellent. You're on the right track. Thank you for that. Very good. Okay, please keep your camera on, Mylene, or you will not get a certificate. Okay, all right. So let's go on. So everybody's on the right track. Active listening is basically where information comes in, we analyze, we ask questions, open-ended questions, closed-ended questions, and reflective questions to confirm the information in order for us to move forward. Now, active listening is different to hearing. Now, I'm sure when Sue Po talks to her father, or her father complains to her about what T-shirt she's wearing, Sue Po doesn't listen. She knows her dad always complains, oh yeah, okay, Daddy, and she still wears the same T-shirt. So she just hears Daddy. But if Sue Po heard from her daddy, Sue Po, how about I give you $500 US and you can buy whatever you want because you're my favorite daughter? Sue Po would not be hearing because she heard $500. She'd straight away be listening. Daddy, I can buy whatever I want. When are you going to give it to me? Today? I call my girlfriend so I can go shopping. Right, Sue Po? Yes? Very good. Excellent. All right. So you all understand the difference between hearing and listening. Let's go on. Okay. So you need to actually ramp up your listening skills by practicing active listening. Remember, if you don't ask questions, you don't get the answer, and therefore you can't actually reach an agreement. You need to anticipate a compromise. You need to have your BATNA ready, and you need to be ready to discuss a compromise. You need to offer and accept the commitment that you've made or the other party has made. Do not try to absorb the problem and end up losing money and not being able to deliver the product. Remember, make sure you have a BATNA and stick to your principles. And once you've reached an agreement, then close with a handshake and confirmation by reiterating what you've agreed on and move forward to implementation. 5 C's of negotiation. Number 1, establish rapport with the other party and build trust and create positive atmosphere. Number 2, Clearly define the issues, your goals, and what both parties want to achieve. Number 3, be creative. Go into a negotiation with an open mind. Number 4, know what your concession is and know what your maximum BATNA is. Number 5, be prepared to maintain and honor the agreement once you've closed the deal. Okay, let's go on. The following are examples of statements that might be used by a good negotiator. Mr. Smith, you've expressed your points very clearly, and I can now appreciate your position. However, it costs me $6 to make this pen. If I sell it to you for $5.90, my factory will close down. I will not be able to make your pens. Number 2, it's clear that you are very concerned about this issue, Mr. Smith, as I am myself. Yet from my viewpoint, I understand that your customers will only pay $5.90. Could I offer you a similar product, which is similar, but the quality is not as high? And I can offer you that for $5.50, and you can still make a profit at $5.90. Compromise. Instead of saying, you're making me waste a lot of my time carrying on with this argument, you must pay me $6. Now, if you use that first line, obviously you're not going to get the deal. You might as well go home. The same point could be presented as, I'm not able to spend a lot of time on this problem because the price you're asking is below my cost. All right, I cannot do it. However, I'm prepared to solve it by offering you an alternative product, which I'm happy to supply at this price. You understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Very good. So remember, when you decide to negotiate, when you decide that you want to negotiate, identify the issue, define the problem, decide whether to negotiate or dominate. Now, in dominate, basically, it's saying that I want this. If you don't give me this, I'll walk away. So you should also decide on negotiate, always. Prepare for the negotiation. Understand the problem, define your goals, build relationship, and make sure you be professional. And by doing this, you have to understand the other party, preparation. Remember what we said about the 5 C's of centricity? Understand your customer, understand your product, understand the price, understand the market, and understand the level of service your customer wants or your client wants. Put yourself in your client's shoes. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Very good. Go in there with your prepared to negotiate. That means make sure that you have BATNA alternatives. Make sure that you've evaluated the alternatives. Make sure that you select the best alternative. Make sure you clearly explain what you want. Make sure that you create an action plan to implement what was agreed straight away. Execute what you've negotiated and what you've agreed. And after you've executed the contract, make sure you follow up in order to possibly do another deal or negotiate another business deal. Once you've closed one, it doesn't mean because you made a compromise, you don't go back and follow up with that client. You always go back because it may open doors to another deal. A good negotiator, by not allowing disagreements over issues to become disagreements between people, a good relationship can be maintained regardless whether it's win-win, win-lose, or walk away. There will always be doors for another negotiation. Does everybody understand that, guys? Yes or no? Does everybody understand what I mean by negotiation? Yes or no? Put your hands up if you don't understand. Okay, so let me give you an example, guys. Let me give you an example. You are going out with your girlfriend, or you're inviting her out, Summer. You call your girlfriend today and say, gorgeous, tomorrow night, I want to take you out to a French restaurant. The French restaurant's very expensive, so I have to take $1,000 out of our savings, which we're saving for when we get married. And the girlfriend will say, no, that's our wedding money. I don't want to go out to dinner. So Summer will have to negotiate with her to explain to her why it's so important for them to go out for one romantic dinner, and that the $1,000 is really important, and that you will have much time to save that $1,000 again before your wedding. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay, good. Do you understand that, Summer? Where are you, Summer? Are you there, Summer? Can anybody get Mr. Summer to talk to me? Summer, did you understand what I explained? Yes or no? All right, not sure where he's gone, but there he is. Summer, do you understand what I explained?
Yes.
Aye. All right. So
Aye,
tell me,
hello.
Summer, if your girlfriend said no, how would you convince her that it's important for you to take her out for dinner? What would you say?
Excuse me. So, can you please repeat what you say?
Okay,
I
so you
just
didn't listen to my question. Okay.
no,
All right.
I listen, but I hear you because
Okay.
my
All
dynamics little.
So, Summer, imagine that you want to take your girlfriend to dinner, and
Mhm.
this restaurant is a new restaurant in your city, and dinner will cost you $1,000. So you call your girlfriend and say, tonight, I want to take you for dinner, and I will use some of my savings that we have saved for when we get married. I will withdraw $1,000 to take you to dinner. Your girlfriend says, no, that money is for our wedding, no dinner. All right? So tell me, how would you negotiate with your girlfriend so that you can take her to dinner?
I think I do it.
What would you do?
Speak with her.
So you would take the risk, right? You wouldn't tell her how much a dinner is, or you would just withdraw
Yes.
the money. All right. Well, that's one way of doing it.
How much money she wanna to dinner?
All right.
Because maybe we don't wanna be like poor people, and we wanna make something more interesting, but this girl don't wanna be so.
Okay. So what you would do is you would compromise with her. You'd ask her how much she wants to spend, and you try to come to an agreement without upsetting her. Is that right? You would compromise. Are you there?
Yes.
Yeah. So what Samat would do is he would talk to his girlfriend and try to compromise about how much money she wants him to spend. But at the same time, they might decide to have a different type of dinner. So Samat would be happy because he would take her out for dinner, and the girlfriend would be happy because he's not spending so much money. Do you understand that, Samat? So you would compromise. Thank you, Samat. All right. Okay. So does everybody understand what I mean by the reality of negotiation? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or
We
no?
just need to ask her how much money they wanna dinner. I think.
Absolutely right. Thank you so much. You're very much right. So negotiation, ladies and gentlemen, is not simple. Negotiation is something that you'll get to use when you start a business or go into business. But remember, negotiation is a skill. And what I've done today is tried to go through all the important elements in 2 hours. Now, eventually, if we have another lesson on negotiation, I will actually arrange a negotiation role play and we'll get the class to do it. And you'll learn how to ask questions and answer them. But today's lesson should actually open your mind to what is negotiation, what is important in negotiation, and what sort of outcome you should get in negotiation. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, very good. Has anybody got any questions about anything that I've explained today? Any questions? Everybody who's switched off their camera, no certificate will be issued to you. So if your camera is switched off, I suggest you put it on now, or next week you will not be getting any certificate. Your photo is no good. It must be your live video camera. Otherwise, please do not call me and say I didn't get a certificate. No video camera, no certificate. Okay? All right, I've made that clear. Anybody else here wants to ask me a question? All right, so let's talk about it. Let me ask you questions now. All right, let me ask you a question. How many of you here have negotiated something before? How many of you have negotiated something? Put your hand up if you've negotiated something. Who has had a negotiation? Any negotiation? Okay, let's go to Rochelle. Where are you, Rochelle? Rochelle Gabriel? Hi, Rochelle. What have you negotiated? Go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. What have you negotiated?
I'm selling condo units and house and lot in the Philippines.
Yes. So how often do you negotiate? Every day?
I'm almost 3 years in the industry, so I already have teams and mentoring some people. Even though I'm not good as that, but I think I can help people.
So when you go into a negotiation, do you usually aim to win-win or win-lose? What is the usual outcome?
Of course, sir. I want to win, and at the same time, I want my buyer to also win. And
Right,
because
okay.
I have the so-called integrity.
Okay. So how do you
I want to be
compromise?
happy. I will make my buyer happy also.
So how do you compromise? You compromise by going to the seller and trying to get a lower price?
Oh, not really, because the developer already have set the price.
So how do you
So,
negotiate?
In my experience, because some of the buyer they know how real estate works in the Philippines, so they are trying to negotiate my my commission, my commission rates.
So what you do is you give away your commission to get the sale, right? That's what you do.
Sometimes I need to give like 1%, 2% for them because as a manager we have the 5 to 8% bracket commission rates. So it won't hurt me if I get the if I give away the 1%, 2%, up to 3% can, as long as it depends on how much the range of the property.
Very good. So Rochelle, how many properties would your team sell every year? 30, 40, 50?
The last year is like 300 million under my team.
Congratulations. Give her a big hand, everyone. Okay, do you think today's lesson is going to help you? Would you use some of what I taught you today to develop your team?
Of course, sir. That's why I'm screening some of your PowerPoint so I can share to the team.
All right, you'll get them. And if you need any help, you can actually let me know. And if you want me to explain something or give you some PowerPoint related to real estate, just drop me a message. I'm happy to do that for you.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Rochelle. Okay, let's go to the next person. Let me talk to Wilburn. Wilburn Dumpalin. Wilburn, tell me, what sort of negotiation have you done and how successful have you been?
Good evening, everyone. Everyone hears me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, Wilburn.
I will share my experience in Saudi Arabia.
Yes, go ahead.
During I was there 2 years ago, our company needed area visual merchandiser, which is supervisory position.
Yes,
So what I did, I negotiate with the company,
right.
company itself. So they offer me 1,000 real increment to
Yes,
accept the position.
yes,
But I give my terms also that I will be needing an extra aside from 1,000 reals Saudi riyals increment. I
yeah,
give my option also that they will give me more petrol allowance, which is 450 riyals.
right. Okay. And how did you do that? Did you compromise, or how did you reach that?
We had win-win we had win-win situation because they earn me as their area visual manager. Then I got my demands also.
Fantastic. And can I ask you, by doing that, what did that do for your level of confidence?
I proved that I'm worthy. I'm proved that
Very
I'm worthy, that I'm fit for the position.
Very
So
good. Excellent.
instead of 1,000 real, I demanded another 450 reals for the petrol because I will visit to the
And you
to the
explained it.
stores.
You explained it because I need to travel to the stores to do the work. So you need to cover my petrol, right?
Yeah, I explained to them.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you, Wilburn. Very good. Are you still in Saudi Arabia, Wilburn?
Actually, I'm still connected next week. Currently, I'm here in the Philippines for my annual vacation, but next
And
week
you're
I will
going
be
back.
back there. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
well, have a safe trip. I look forward to seeing you next weekend. Okay, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you at the next BizTalk. Thank you, sir. Okay, let's go to Mary Jean. Do you want to talk to me, Mary Jean? Hi, go ahead. Yes, Mary Jean, would you like to talk to me?
Yeah. Okay, hello, good evening. So,
Yeah, hi.
hi, hello. Based on my experience, me and my husband have a small farm in the Philippines, and then we raise livestock, and also we have a banana plantation. So, one of his uncle has store in the Manila city. So he asked us that he wanted to buy direct from our farm our products. So it looks like win-win um, um, negotiation because of the blood. But the good thing is his uncle give us the some what we call this one um, some middle price of his business in the Manila. So as of now, we are part of his investor. So instead of supplier only, as of now we are a part of his
Okay,
situation.
all right.
So
So can I ask you, where do you do most of your negotiation? Is it the bananas you sell from the plantation? Where do you find your hake you're doing? So when you're negotiating the price to sell the bananas to the factory, to the supplier, to the market, or to who? I can't hear you. You need to unmute your microphone. Yeah. So when you're selling your bananas from the plantation, who are you negotiating
my
with?
husband, we are the direct supply. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
We are direct
So,
supply in his store,
so
in his
you
business
supply,
in Manila.
all right. So you supply to a store, a chain of stores. So they will demand a lower purchase price so they can mark it up for their customers. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So would you agree with me sometime, Mary Jean, that sometimes you have to give them a lower price in order for them to buy again from you. Is that correct?
Not low price, but he gave us the less of the price because our banana production is have a class A, class B, and class C. So we need to tackle about the price and the market before we deal between.
Okay, and class A would be the best, class B would be smaller, class C is the smallest, right? Okay, and where is your plantation? What part of the Philippines?
We are a small business, banana plantation only, and then we raise some chicken and pig. So, but most of the time we sell the banana fruits.
Okay,
and
fantastic. Hopefully one day I can try one of your bananas. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Thank you for attending my class. Thank you. Okay, let's go on. Does anybody else want to share with me their negotiation skills? Anybody else? Hi, yes, Mary Lou, go ahead. Mary Lou Torino, go ahead.
Hello,
are you there, Mary Lou?
Good evening, Sir Wally. Yeah. Hi, Sir Wally. Sorry, I just off my camera. I'm here at my work, by the way.
Okay, yeah, all right, you're at work. Okay, go ahead. How can I
I'm
help?
here in Malaysia. Yeah. Okay. By the way, I just shared the one that it's probably it's a real estate. Yeah. I'm the one of the employed of one of the developer in the Philippines while I'm doing like I just manage my time from here on my work here to the clients also in my team. So I'm the one of the head of the team. So as an RP, a sales representative of the developer.
All right.
Then now I have not mentioning I have an agent also under me. And my team, I'm by commission basis, by commissioning.
Go on. Are you there? Okay, great. So when you negotiate in real estate, I guess you're in the same position as our other classmate, that sometimes you have to compromise with your commission. Is that right, Mary Lou? Okay, I can't hear you, Mary Lou. I hope you can hear me. All right, so does everybody understand what we've studied today about negotiation? Is everybody clear about it? Yes or no? Let me remind you that on Monday night next week, we have our Motivation Madness session at 8 o'clock. And it's really important that you join it because it will inspire you to burn the fire in you and make you more successful. You're hearing from my boss, my guru, Benson Ma, who's a multi-time millionaire and successful businessman. Let him tell you about his failures and his successes and how he overcame them. All of you need fire. All of you need someone to motivate you. And you're not paying for it. It's free of charge. Join me and Benson Ma for Motivation Madness on Monday night. Next Saturday, we have our leadership series where you learn leadership skills. And the following week, I'll be back here with another BizTalk. Now, if there's a subject that you would like me to cover in BizTalk that I've never spoken about before, please send me a WhatsApp saying, Wally, could you teach us this in BizTalk? And we will try to schedule it for you. Mr. Goldman, can you put my WhatsApp number in the chat box for all our participants today? All right? Mr. Goldman will put my number in the chat box. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me for BizTalk 102. It's been an absolute pleasure to have delivered 102 BizTalk series. And I enjoy it. And what motivates me to come back every week is you, because you are here to learn. If you enjoy my BizTalk, please help me. Go to our social media on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube, and leave a message. Mr. Wally, I love your BizTalk. More people should join. Can everybody make a promise to me? Wave your hand that you're going to go to social media and leave me a message today. Everyone. Thank you. Mr. Goldman, can you share our links to social media, Facebook, Instagram, on the chat line now? Give them the link to social media, Instagram, and Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, from Singapore, where it's just gone about 13 minutes to 7 o'clock, I bid you all a very good night, a very farewell till I next see you. Please help me. Go to social media, give me the thumbs up. Wally, we enjoyed your BizTalk. Can everybody do that? Yes or no? Thanks, guys. Good night and good weekend. God bless you all. I'll see you at the next BizTalk. Thank you, Mr. Gorbin. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Good night, everyone.